Hi, I'm James Grant. I'm the Business Development Director at Addfield, and behind me we've got the clinical waste incinerator, the Addfield C200, which is designed to process waste at 200 kilograms an hour. It's mounted to a class-leading flue gas treatment system. But today I'm going to talk about some of the points that make Addfield the leading supplier and manufacturer in this sector. And I'm going to start with the primary chamber behind us. The primary chamber is made from robust, thick steel plate. It's typically twice the thickness compared to alternatives on the market. What does that mean to you? It means the equipment's going to potentially last 3 to 4 times longer than our nearest competition. Our oldest machine that's still in operation today is 23 years old. Internally, it's lined with a thick refractory brickwork. Why use brickwork? We use brickwork because it's the most efficient material to use on incinerators. It's a modular construction that allows for ease of maintenance. It's also an extremely durable material when using for high temperature applications. The paint system on the exterior is a 2-pack paint system. It's baked on at 70 degrees C for 8 hours. We use a 2-pack paint system because it's the same robust system used on modern day vehicles, and we can use that stuff because our steel temperatures do not get hot because of the thick refractory insulation that we use inside. Using efficient insulation matters. Why? Because it's going to save our customers 40% on fuel. If I take an animal carcass incinerator, for example, and you're doing 3 burns a week over the period of, let's say, 12 hours, you'd save 34 litres of fuel per burn. If you're doing that over 52 weeks a year, it's almost 3,000 pounds worth of fuel, or 6,000 litres almost. And that's one of the defining points when you look at the lifetime cost of this equipment. Above the primary chamber, we have our secondary afterburner. And secondary afterburners are important. They clean the flue gas from the primary chamber, and to get a good cleaning system, they've got to be large enough to cope with the volume of gases flowing through them. So whereas many other manufacturers might cheat the system and undersize the equipment leading to smoke, we ensure and we model our secondary chambers to ensure they have a true 2-second retention time at the legal required 850 degrees C for animals, or 1100 degrees C for clinical waste incinerators. And equally, we line those with robust materials that are designed to work at those high temperatures. This enables us to fit them with pulse-firing burners. So at the front of this black section here, we've got a burner. And what that burner will do is it will fire up to temperature. The internals will hold on to the heat for as long as possible, and then they'll fire temperature in there again, heat in there again, to maintain that temperature. And the efficiency of that lining will define how long that burner's on for and how often it's on for. And obviously the longer it's on for, or the more heat radiated from the steel, again, the more fuel that you'll be using and the more cost you'll have operationally to a system. So efficiency is really important with incineration. It's also important for personal protection. So looking at the system behind us, you'll see no caution hot signs. So why do we do that? Well, when we have an efficient lining, we'll have steel temperatures around 60 to 70 degrees C. So warm but not hot to touch. So when we consider health and safety implications for the equipment, getting the linings right from the start is again equally important for that. So the linings feed into efficiency, health and safety, the paint systems, and the ultimate durability of the system as well. So these things come together. When we look at our control system on the front here, you'll notice right here a really simple thing, and it's a plug. And it unplugs and we plug a new one in very easily. So in terms of long-term maintenance, if we have a control system that has a problem, all machines will potentially have things that wear and need maintenance. We can unplug the controller and we can plug a new one on. We don't need to send engineers to site where expensive labour and for electricians to fault find. That kind of stuff's mitigated. Equally with burners. So if I look at our combustion system here, we've got plugs on our gas systems here which will simply unplug. our burners will unscrew, and the burners that we use are package burners. So things will unplug, and you can plug more components into the system. Again, rather than replacing the whole machine after a few years, which others may do. So when you're investing into Addfield, you're invested into the longevity of the equipment and its lifetime cost. You're not going to be replacing these after a few years like many other concrete line machines. When we come onto our flue gas treatment system, now we do various systems here. This particular one is a water-based system. And obviously when we're using water, we've got to use the correct materials. So when we're burning materials, some of those might have acids in them. When we mix them with water, we can create quite a corrosive environment. So material selection on this part of the system is really important. Otherwise your system will deteriorate very quickly. So as you can see visually, a lot of the components on this that will be interacting with the water are manufactured from stainless steel, high grade stainless steel, again using a thick steel plate. We also fit other systems to this Ventura system that other people might not do. So when we talk about acids, we talk about SO2s, we talk about HCl's. If you mix powdered SO2 with the water, you'll end up with battery acid. You put battery acid in something like that, it's gonna corrode very, very quickly. So how can we mitigate those kind of corrosion? So along with the stainless steel, at the back there you'll see a plastic tank, and inside that tank we'll fill a caustic soda. So when we're looking at acid levels, so acid has a very low pH level, a caustic soda is an alkali, has a very high pH level. What we do is we're mixing the two and we're coming out neutral. So our water is pH neutral and very safe. Again, it improves the lifetime of this equipment, where if things like that aren't managed, things won't last 12 months. It's really, really important to get this kind of stuff right. And again, going back to where we're talking about flow modelling secondary afterburners, ensuring the pollution control system is the correct size is again vitally important. If you undersize it, it's not going to clean properly. If you oversize it, all of those gases will just sit in there and won't be pulled out properly. And again, the cleaning system will be ineffective. There are lots and lots of other things we do as a manufacturer to try and help our customers. Functionally though, the main thing is along with the robustness, along with the efficiency, along with the correct design, we think about how our customers are going to use the system. So here we've got a cage around a system that's got lots of components that we don't want people to potentially touch. On the front door there, we've got a ceramic glass viewport. So you might want to understand what's happening inside the system. You might want to understand when the next load is going on. So rather than guessing, we'll put systems in to try and help these people out. With the control systems, we have a simple set of push buttons which you can operate very simply, but we also include a HMI screen. And the HMI screen will give you a schematic overview. It will just help to inform the customer what's happening internally with the system. There's also data log in there as well. So if the machine's left to run unattended, you can review data logs. There's also a lot of support information on this as well. So if you have a broken temperature sensor, and everyone will break a temperature sensor over its 20-year lifetime, what happens when that needs replacement? So the HMI screen will tell you you've broken a temperature sensor, and we'll give you a manual, but I understand most people lose their manuals after a few months. So integrated in the panel, there's a QR code. You can scan that QR code and you can watch a video on how to change a thermocouple, how to service a burner, how to do other things with the systems again. So as a business, we think about how to build them as best as possible, but we also think how you guys can use them as best as possible as well. Ultimately, if you have any more questions about Addfield, you can visit our website at www.addfield.com, or you can contact us directly at sales@addfield.com. Thanks again for your time.